Thank you, Paul. Welcome to everybody here and on the coast. I must admit I was a bit disappointed to not get over to the coast this year for this conference. It's always a favourite of mine. So I'm here to tell the Firefly story. Hopefully I press the right buttons. Disclaimer, CP statement, pretty standard. A little drill rig that we're currently employing to find lots of gold. Just a bit of a snapshot of our corporate profile there. The key numbers, 60 mil market cap, about 7.5 in cash in the bank at the moment, thanks to a capital raising that we completed a couple of months ago, thanks to some supportive shareholders. About 60% of our company is held by top 20, so very tight, about 297 million shares on issue. So we are much better positioned than we were as the previous iteration of the company, and I've sort of worked for the last 2.5 years to get it to the point we're at now, which is with a great project and great team. So further to the team on the right hand side there, myself, Mike Edwards. Eddie is a very experienced geologist, a lot of time spent in the corporate environment, so been very supportive. His arrival on the board about a year ago has been instrumental in strengthening our board position, and we're very active. That's one of the things I really want to get across to people, is that we have a very active board. As well as me being out in the field personally, these guys provide a lot of support to me. Jeff Jones, the MD of GR Engineering, a lot of experience in the processing and construction businesses. That could be very useful as we move into our next phase. Ashley Patterson came on with the recent vend of the YALGOO gold project, so he's been a breath of fresh air, basically brought in a new project, and we've got stuck straight in. Our corporate focus, maximise funds as metres in the ground. That's not just a byline, that's actually what I live by. I spent a lot of years working for Northern Star and had it drummed into me excessively that we are all about spending money in a useful way. We're drilling again this month, about 3,000 metres of RC. We're going to continue to pump out the news flow. Our projects, the key one, YALGOO Gold Project, obviously the main focus of what I want to talk about today. We have a couple of sleepers in the portfolio as well. I'll get onto those. The YALGOO Gold Project, obviously advanced. A lot of drilling was done there many years ago. Hasn't had any modern exploration for about the last 15 years, which is where we see the opportunity. The gold price obviously has moved significantly in that time. A historic resource there, 140,000 ounces at 1.57. We plan to make that much bigger very quickly. Huge scale, about 750 square kilometres now. We have made some tenure grabs and some acquisitions, so I'll detail those shortly. And we're drilling underway as a 10,000 metre program that's split into about 3 different phases. We're about 2/3 of the way through that at the moment, currently awaiting 17 holes. Patterson Copper Gold Project, that's, as I said, a bit of a sleeper. Not many people knew we had a Patterson project. That is, it's not just a neurology play. That actually has some real grades on it. Very shallow, less than 100 metres from surface. Discovered by CRA back in the 80s. We are currently planning to do some work up there. We had some native title agreements we needed to get past, and we've made an agreement with the local people up there, which is obviously very favourable to them and to ourselves. So we're very keen to get up there and have a look around. FORRESTANIA Gold Project, one of the main reasons I joined the company. Good geology you can't create, you actually have to bring it in and work on it. FORRESTANIA is a good greenstone belt. We are currently focused at YALGOO, but we also have POW approval to drill our discoveries there as well. So further into YALGOO Gold Project, MELVILLE Gold Deposit's the main deposit there. That's where the 140,000 ounces in historic resource lies. You can see in the sort of yellow colour, that's the areas that we've recently pegged, basically to expand our footprint there and to protect our margins. Obviously we knew when we came out with our initial news that we would have a lot of activity around us, so we provided some insurance there by picking up that ground. We also made a couple of acquisitions central to the tenure as well. Widespread historic high-grade gold production, that's a key thing. It's a gold field. It's been around for over 120 years, discovered back at the turn of last century. Pretty much the same timeline as Mount Magnet, except Mount Magnet's produced 6 million ounces, and YALGOO's seen very little work. 5 other advanced gold projects prospects outside of Melville, so a lot of upside across the belt, and it's not just lip service. We actually have real gold results there that we can leverage off straight away. Numerous walk-up drill targets outside of that as well, so it just keeps expanding. Opportunity for new resources and resource updates, that's a key thing. For me, I'm a mine geologist. I'm not an exploration geologist by any stretch of the imagination. I take known things and I make them bigger. That's what I'm good at. We have 5 gold mills within 150 k's, which is actually, you know, it's a key aspect of this. We're not going to go and build a $170 million mill. We're going to sell our gold to nearby producers. Melville Gold Deposit, the flagship. We released some new drill results this morning, and obviously that new updated image there shows you the footprint of the resource. You know, there's no pit here. We don't have infrastructure we have to deal with. We have mineralisation from surface. The last resource estimate was 2004. Multiple intercepts drilled post-resource by the previous owners, and now we're adding to that. So, as you can imagine, we are feverishly working on a resource update. We will be drilling again on the 23rd of November to add to that resource update, and timing for that will be early 2021. Lots of news flow. I won't go through them, but you can see them all there. The biggest thing for me is the scale of this. You know, we have an existing resource. The downside, if there can be any here, is 140,000 ounces is the minimum. We are talking about a significant 8-kilometre strike zone that hasn't been tested. There are existing historic gold hits there. There's 28 kilometres of shear zone that overlies that, and we hold 90% of that. Just, I suppose, some images topical to today for our release. You can see how thick this is from surface. You know, 30 metres at 1.35, including 10 at 2.6. It's not hard to imagine a pit around this shape. 5,800 metres drilled so far over 34 holes. That's just during our time owning the project. We only acquired it earlier this year, so we've moved very quickly to get this done. We've settled all the permitting, native title. We have a clear pathway to grow this. Spectacular high grades. I took the image off. It shows up later in the presentation, but obviously a lot of people got talking about the 1,400 gram hit that we made. That is rare in this part of the world. The mode to mineralisation here is very broad banded iron formation, which carries anywhere from 1 to 3 grams across its volume. That is a voluminous rock type, so you are talking 30 to 50 metre wide banded iron formation units, which are extensive. We're awaiting assays on 17 holes, if I didn't already say that. These sections here, you can see the extremely high grade on the left-hand side there. It might be a bit hard to read. The key is obviously the new image that we've zoomed in on the right-hand side there. We updated the market this morning with a further drill hole, number 11, which drilled under the section we'd previously released and shows that there's vertical continuity to this high-grade structure. So the banded iron formation is one form of mineralisation in this part of the world. The high-grade structural gold has actually introduced that gold into the banded iron formation and is a mineralisation style in its own right. And we also have porphyry hosted mineralisation, which sits at depth here. We've proven that porphyry at the base of the section is mineralised, so we have 3 styles of mineralisation as well as huge scale to leverage off. Other prospects across the 28 kilometres, so the yellow zone is the 28 k's I've been referring to. We have 90% coverage of that. Everything in the sort of lighter area there, surrounded by the orange tenement boundaries, is our ground. The orange discs are existing gold prospects, or existing mines, or existing historic resources. So we have a huge footprint there with which to leverage off. Saying that, we're not going to run up and down that 28 kilometres and throw drill holes everywhere. I am focused on Melville deposit. I will be making that significantly bigger as a foundation, and then I'll earn the permission to step outside that and start to really grow the resources across this whole belt. We also have a small amount of ground which is down towards the Rothsey Gold Project, which Silver Lake is currently developing. It's not on that current image. It's on the earlier image of the whole belt of our entire tenure. We will be doing some work down there. There's existing high-grade intercepts, so we have huge scale here. Untested historical workings. This is something that I get really quite excited about. These were mined at the turn of the century, haven't had a drill hole in them since. They were mined visually, so there's visible gold there. We know that the grades that came out of those were sort of plus 10 grams, 20 grams. We will be drilling those as a priority. after we drill Melville. Scale. It's something that I've been trying to get across to people. We worked on a couple of images. These seem to be the most powerful. Obviously, when you overlay high-grade pink dots on a coloured magnetics section or a plan, you end up losing that resolution. You can see quite clearly on the aerial on the left-hand side. That's Melville sitting there, about 500 metres to 800 metres of defined mineralisation. To the right there, down the bottom right-hand side, is actually that plan view that I showed before. That's it for scale. We are talking about known mineralisation, known drill holes with known grades, plus 5 grams for over 4 kilometres. And that's just the known aspect of this. The architecture shows up very well on the right-hand side. The banded iron formation is highly magnetic, and obviously in magnetics shows up very well. So you can see for yourself, the scale of what this could be. Just to point out too, because I had a very good question earlier, the entire section you can see there with the exclusion of the top left-hand corner is our ground. So we don't have any impediments in terms of how far we can take this. Patterson Copper Gold Project. It's not a neurology play, it's real. Early stage exploration project. We have about 600 square kilometres there. The key project of the part of the project that we're focused on is the central tenement package there, which is around the Kintyre uranium mine. CRA drilled there back in 1987, 1988. I spoke to Mike Christie at FQM about this. He was the supervising geologist. They drilled out there for basement unconformity uranium, and what they found was copper, gold and molybdenum. So we've gone and jumped on that ground when Cameco have dropped it, and we've picked up these prospects at the same time. We then progressed some native title agreements, which took sort of 12 to 18 months because we just wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable, and we've managed to get that achieved. During that time, we acquired and collated, reprocessed a bunch of geophysics, which shows us, that there's a huge scale to this. This is a very simple cross-section of what was seen by CRA. We've reproduced this from old data, from paper sections. There was no digital information. Very good logging by the CRA guys, but the key takeaway there is that intercepts of up to 6.5% copper, a gram per tonne gold and 700, actually up to 1300 ppm moly from less than 100 metres depth. So there isn't many people in the Patterson who can say that they've got that sitting in front of them. There's a lot of people drilling 1,000-metre holes up there at the moment, which is great. We're pretty keen to get up there with a combination rig, RC diamond rig, and drill some more 120, 150 metre holes and really start to work on this. Timing for that is early next year. We will be doing a cultural survey prior to that. And the Forrestania Gold Project, where I sort of originally started with the company. That was the last asset that I kept. I got rid of everything else in the company, kept Forrestania, acquired Patterson, and then obviously acquired YALGOO earlier this year. We had a huge portfolio. We've now really restricted it back to what holds value. We made some discoveries there late last year. We'll continue to work on those. In summary, Firefly Resources has a tight capital structure. We are well funded. We have a very strong focus. Being a mine geologist, it's not hard for me to keep focusing on the economics. The YALGOO Gold Project is where the value is sitting at the moment for us. It's our primary project. We will deliver a JORC 2012 mineral resource. We will grow that and we will establish reserves. We will have strong news flow and keep drilling. That's what I love doing. Potential cash flow opportunities. As I said, we've got 5 nearby mills. We will leverage off the location of those. They, for example, they aren't producing, or let's say they're trying to produce from grade that is lower than what we have in our resource at this time. So we have, a very positive outlook on that. And we have a focus on project economics. We're going to leverage off our gold-focused portfolio, our supportive shareholders and experienced management to deliver results. And if we can't kill it by drilling it, it will be a mine. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Simon. One quick question. You just touched on there, but you didn't finish it. Somebody asked, when will the JORC 2012 resource be completed and published?
First quarter next year.
First quarter of next calendar year?
Yep.
And do you expect it to be bigger than the 140,000 ounce non-JORC resource?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.